Well, hi, everyone, and welcome to the Buffett and Beyond Saturday Market Recap Letter, July 1st, 2023. First half of the year is over, second half of the year is beginning, and folks, what a week it has been. And remember, folks, if you want to live on this beach like Jimmy Buffett, you've got to learn how to invest even better than Warren Buffett, and that's exactly what we're going to show you how to do. And this week, the market capped up to recent previous highs, which haven't been tested or haven't been seen in over a year and a half. The S&P tested its 20-day moving average this week and then took off to the upside like a rocket. Our weekly stock analysis video, well, Starbucks is still a pretty good stock, which is why we keep it around while it makes money for us. It just keeps perking along. Sorry for the pun, folks. And our ETF video, the transportation ETFs, so many of you don't realize it is a leading indicator when it comes to the stock market. If goods are being sold, they must be transported first. The ingredients that make up the goods must also be transported first before they are sold. So the transportation ETF is a leading indicator. And here's a point that very, very few people realize. The transportation ETF told us to get out of the market before the 2022 market decline. We're going to show you that in that ETF video, folks. So be prepared. Here it comes. And this week, well, this is the S&P 500. The red bands are Bollinger Bands, and named after the famous technician John Bollinger, and 95% of the market stays within those two bands. When it goes outside, it means a powerful move, and there it was right there, folks, and down here too. So down here gave us this strength up here, and this said, hey, it's a strong market, even though it was going down to test various moving averages. In the S&P tested the 20-day moving average. The Dow tested its 50-day moving average, which is not shown here. And then it didn't even go down to touch them, and then the market just took off once again. And here we are back at this high. And then when we look at the intermediate term indicator down here, it looks like it's turning up again, doesn't it? Whoa, this is something, folks. This has been a crazy market. But of course, this past week has been the last week of the month of June, of course, and Monday starts a new month, and that's when you have money coming into the market. You get a decline usually in the beginning of the last week of the month, which we did, and then it takes off as more money starts coming in for the pensions, and the first and second day of trading for the new month usually puts that money to work, so we see buying going on there. And then, of course, this has been a holiday weekend, so we had several seasonal indicators telling us that we would have a rise going into the end of this past week. And boy, it took us by surprise. It wasn't a rise, it was a run-up. And then when we look at the RSP, now the black line is the S&P 500 and its capitalization weighted. That means you take the number of shares outstanding times the price of a stock. You have 500 stocks and you measure that, and that's what gives you this index. But you have the big stocks that really run this index. You have Apple, you have Amazon, you have Netflix, you have Nvidia, you have big stocks out there which really run this index. Now, the RSP, which is this mustard colored line down here, is an index that takes the price of each stock and is equally weighted throughout the S&P 500. So what this means in this run-up this past week is that this is telling us that all the stocks or most of the stocks are participating in this move up. Back down in here, all the way over here, the market was going up while the rest of the S&P 500 was going down. So that worried a lot of people, and a lot of money was sitting out of the market at this particular time. Now, money is coming back into the market, but this past week I heard that there is more cash sitting on the sidelines than ever before. That means, folks, if this market gets going, it's going to keep going. In fact, some analysts finally came on this week and said, hey, we're in the next 5 years of a bull market here, so get invested. And that's where we sit, folks, right now. Yes, we are fully invested in our long-term portfolios. Now, let's look at the Dow. And the reason we're looking at the Dow, because this is the 50-day moving average here, this blue line. So the Dow went down below its 20-day moving average, which is not shown here, all the way down to the 50-day moving average, tested it for 2 days, then took off to the upside. And we actually have this indicator giving us a buy signal, but it was very, very tricky to see this. And you want to see one point here, and then you want to see the second point here, and it wasn't a good, clear indication of a buy signal, and that's why most people missed it. But here we are with the Dow up, testing its previous high. The S&P, which is not shown right here, is actually above this previous high in its own index. So it's looking very strong. And why I showed you the Dow today? Because this indicator down here is turning back up again. Boy, you don't see that too often, folks. So we had a very, very strong end of the first quarter for 2023. And for those of you that want portfolio protection, this is for about $135,000 portfolio. So you have 3 puts, which covers it down to the SPY 410 level. Remember, the SPY is 1/10 of the S&P 500 index. So we use the SPYs when we have a portfolio less than $500,000 or so. And we are covered all the way through September. So we're sitting pretty with those, and any portfolio protection is very cheap at this time, especially after this past week. But for those of you who want portfolio protection all the time, or just when the market turns down, here it is, and we are fully protected for a portfolio that resembles the S&P 500. So, folks, we had a fantastic week this week. We had a great start to the year this year for 2023, and let's keep going for the rest of 2023. So if you want to live on the beach like Jimmy Buffett and watch this sunrise and see the reflection in this little tidal pool, then, folks, you better be investing not only as good as Warren Buffett, you want to be investing better than Warren Buffett. Folks, have a great weekend. Happy 4th of July weekend, and we'll see you back here next time.